All right. Getting back down to the nitty gritty of this. Trying to find out what the business is on a Sunday night in the Shy. Some call it the Sabbath, some call it the first day. Basically, what we want to know right now, son, is like, what's the difference between being unemployed, you know, for a person who's trying to live his life, you know what I mean? How's his life perceived? How does he perceive things from the unemployed versus the employed? And how much does that have an effect on his lifestyle, his employment?
You asked Poemoe, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically the question you asked me is how does a nigga deal with being broke?
Or what's the difference? Like you that parallel world? What's the difference? And we're looking for a little contrast. What's the difference between having a job and not having a job? Okay. What are the pros and cons?
Let's start with having a job and not having a job. That is a deadly weapon. Like if the lion in the jungle and he ain't able to protect his flock, but they still going out killing food, making food for him. You know, sooner or later the female lion's gonna be like, nigga, you ain't no nothing. They're gonna bounce and go to one that's able to protect it. They done made it away so the lion running from his attackers instead of boxing. He can't afford to box. If his attacker scratch him, then he hurt, he can't go to work. Basically, they took the jobs. Now, by taking the job, taking his manpower, you know, he can't do for his family like he wants to. So they start looking at, not really wanting to look down on him, but it sort of happened like that because you become useless. And with no knowledge in your head, you can't see it. You can't really get a full understanding and drawing about what you're going through, which is a resurrection. And then if you can bounce back from the resurrection to getting a job and getting money, now you know how to deal with the money and with yourself dealing in the money. So the money won't take over you, you'll control and handle the money. And all to stay well and be well, because sharing is receiving and receiving is sharing. You know what I'm saying? And that's strictly from hoodx.com literature. And I'm Poemoe, by the way, from hoodx.com with my guy Body Sticks and my man Reese over here. Silent Soldier, you know what I'm talking about and how we do it.
Right, for sure.
But definitely, let's get back to the issue at hand. And not having a job for a man, especially if he can be crucial and detrimental to his subliminal thinking and well-being of himself. He can catch cancer like that. Next question, if you got one, but
yeah, well,
dangerous not having a job or even making it having a way for living. I mean, hustling. I'd rather hustle. I mean, shit, if it take the chances of not having no money, is almost like not eating in the jungle. You're gonna starve, you're gonna die. So they got people not killing you. Too extreme. Too much is not good, but it's a design that's very well necessary for their means. Like my brother Polite said, they're having a heaven at other people's hell, at the expense of other people's hell. They're having them in heaven at the expense of our hell. Next, you know what I'm talking about?
No doubt. And in that hell, let's talk about the prices of living in hell. What are the prices like in Chicago versus other states and as far as gas, bubble gum?
I got you. You ain't got to. I got you. Let me see. That is ridiculous. Our squares cost $15. Our gas costs $6. They even got cigarillos and Walgreens cost $4 for one or two, maybe for $5. And then the rent off the Chisholm. I mean, I know in Kentucky you can see the apartment downtown for $450, 3 bedrooms. Up here it's like or a house at that, but up here it's like $1,100 to $1,500. And then the streets fucked up. So I'm paying all these taxes. If the streets got potholes, I'm talking about where your car have a dip. And you can just tear it up, just driving down the street with your family or yourself. You can create a problem for yourself. And then
what kind of problems?
I don't know, but the way they got it, kind of problems where you ride, you knock your wheel off, you got a whole $600 issue going on. But the real problem is this: they done figured out a way how to tax the blacks or the poor or the minorities. Wherever the minorities live, the taxes, they done raise the taxes. Wherever the Caucasians live, they're lower. So I go out to Carroll Stream, where, you know, the picket white fence and shit going by Mary Lou, everybody smiling at me for some damn reason. I don't wonder if those automatic smiles or those natural smiles. Might be natural smiles, but the gas is $3, $3.80. The cigarettes is $6, some on $5, and the rent, well, they keep the rent up to keep our ass out. So other than that, you know, that's ruthless. That's ruthless. But the price of living is high in New York too. But we still deal with it and manage. Good X style, you know what I'm saying? You gotta move through the land like a soldier, but a spiritual soldier. You can't be reactive in the land. Not to say, if you think Bruce Lee was a reflection, not a reaction, you can't be reactive. You gotta move like Bruce Lee, reflect off what the fuck is in front of you or around you.
Isn't reflection a part of reacting?
Hell no, no. A reflection is like water. You reflecting with what's in front of you, reflecting their actions back to them. Reaction is just you reacting off what the hell they do to you. That's like this nigga say something, I'ma steal on him. That's a reaction, but the results of those actions is shit like jail, death, or destruction. But by the time you think about your reaction, you always say, what the fuck was I thinking? That means something else took over your body at the time, which we call Agent Smith. And here now you sit in the penitentiary in jail like replaying that moment every time. What the fuck was I thinking? But the reflection is you can reflect at the moment and reflect when you sit back at the crib on what happened throughout your day. That's the illest. I mean, you can calculate all type of situations to know that everything happened for a reason. At the end of your day, once you lay back and blow back and reflect on it. Most people don't reflect, they just go straight to sleep. Lights out. Reset to the tomorrow. Reflection game, through that you gain wisdom. Especially when you're high. But you don't always need drugs, you know, to do. It's just something we do because the stress level in this is like a police state. They got cameras.
Well, let's talk about the stress. Go into the stress. What stress is? What causes one to,
trauma.
be stressed?
Trauma, like Tupac spoke about, youthful trauma. You know, we at an early age we was gang banging as it started. I really didn't want to, but I got forced to. And then you started, moving from that to selling drugs. I really didn't want to, but the issue forced me to, as I thought at the time, and my mind wasn't fully developed. So that was trauma. And then you carry that on in your future years, but you never get fixed. Sometimes we need medical attention or psychiatric attention, but the attention of your mama, that's the psychiatric. The boy, when whoop your ass, you don't get your shit right. That's gonna go so far. Without a father, we fucked up. So we get out on the hustle game, niggas shooting at you, got shot at, all that wild shit. So horror stories or Tales from the Crypt, like they read in Hood X, Tales from the Crypt, where your life can be a movie on how wild shit happened, man. And that stress, once at a certain age, you never brush that shit off your shoulder, it become a part of you. Now you got drinking, or you got abusive or drugs in the picture. You need something, you think you need something to get that crutch. And then now you got the stress of getting a job, feeding your family. They holding that back. They took all the jobs for the males, put them in China, and left all the secretarial jobs be here. So if you do want, you got to be kind of having like a little sugar in your tank or a fag to actually get a job like that and feel comfortable soliciting information and bills to people. And then they got the link where they know which you drugs and guns. And then they give you an option around the 4 block. Look at them blocks. Look at the blocks. Show them. Look at the blocks. All the hotheads. These are the blocks. These are the niggas on the blocks. And then they infill the blocks with drugs. So you got Vice Lords, GDs, disciples. We're gonna get the disciples instead of ruthless in nature, the majority of the drugs. And then now they're gonna fight over territory. Now in these blocks they took all the jobs out. The jobs, follow my hand. Each one is a mile and 3, 4, 5 miles. It's way over here in that corner. Now, traffic is like ants walking on food. And they come back up here. Once they do that to people, and you give them an option, illusion or an option, along with rap and TV, that lifestyle, they become part of them, and that stress still is in their life. And then they females, they kind of want them to get that money, but at the same time they know it's dead end to it. But it's meeting the needs, the $700 purse on the side, the Gucci, the Fendi wear on. But when the brother get popped off and something happened to him, they kind of say, ooh, I want a brother with a job, but the brother with a job wasn't good enough at the time, so he was messing with Doughboy. You know what I'm saying? So it become a confusing situation here, and then the brother with the job, that guy that had to deal with all the stress and trauma that Doughboy gave it, because Doughboy wasn't having it, he had paper, he didn't have to pull a Samson, he felt beat by down for what? You know what I'm saying? I got money. Then your daddy gone, so all the stress of that alone is a whole new chapter, and that's just like trauma.
Can money buy you happiness?
Hell no, because once you get money, you still living and you grieving, you're like, okay, what's next? Now that I can actually accumulate all these things I wanted, what the fuck is next? That can be the worst terror, to know that you got bread and still miserable, because how the fuck do you fix that? Money always used to fix problems, but when it can't fix problems no more, you really got a problem. That's when motherfuckers commit suicide. You like, man, you got all that bread, why you kill yourself? Some people want to know, so they try to get paper and wish to God, please let me know what money feel like. A lot of people get money and get evil though. It's not a good thing. Imagine a humble person with millions of dollars, something like Derrick Rose, but they're trying to break his spirit, but he's still going only if he knew. We out here trying to do this Hood X challenge from the hoodx.com, but we got caught up with knowledge at this certain time. Every time people walk past, they stop right here, so we gave them something to do while they right here looking in our face. Any more questions, Godbody? I know the Hood X people want to know more than that.
Hood X, we got plenty more. Come back at you. We're gonna give you a break. Take a quick breather. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir,
but don't
Superman.
ever think it's a sleeper.
Superman, hoodx.com, baby.
All day.
Still.